tahu buat equations naik.
Hi, today welcome.
Let's read from here.
Okay, now produce it. The rice comes from far.
Yeah, probably from Malaysia or Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fiber intake.
Yep.
Yeah, mostly people don't want to cook too much or don't like it.
Hello everyone, I'm Ameerul.
I'm Shen Yi.
We are dietitians from Malaysia.
We do podcasts.
We do coaching
helping you eat better in a sustainable way.
Welcome back to our Not Only Diet Talk by My Fine Diet. And this is episode 38.
Yep.
Wow. 38.
Yep. We have been doing the same thing over and over again for 37
Don't
times.
you feel boring, Shen Yi?
No.
Or tired?
Honestly, I don't, because I get to talk with different people.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we can see today, quite different.
Yes.
Pun intended. Yeah. Anyway, our topic today is very different. Our guest is also very different.
Yep.
We never did something like this before.
Yep.
But then we try to make it very, very interesting and very, very laid back, very chill. Our topic today is about the 3 views on diet, body image, right? It's very interesting topic. Culture, also very interesting topic.
Yep.
And when we talk about the views, it's about 2 countries, which is Malaysia and Canada. It's like from the east to the west.
Yep.
So how much different in terms of like the views on diet, body image and culture. And I think this will be a very interesting like knowledge, information for the audiences to listen to or to watch on YouTube.
Yep.
And today we have Daphnee.
Hi.
Yeah. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome to Malaysia.
Thank you.
Malaysia, truly Asia.
Yeah.
Okay. But before we go deeper into that, for Daphnee to introduce herself a little bit,
Right.
Maybe Shen Yi, do you still remember the time when we were doing the Europe trip?
Definitely.
3 years ago.
Yep.
Definitely. You sounded very nostalgic.
One of the best.
Right. Amazing. Do you remember anything about the differences that they had in terms of the culture back in Europe?
Yeah, and I think we did share in our previous episode.
The very first or second or third episodes before, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that I remember
Yeah.
is in terms of how they take the food allergen carefully.
Yep. True. Yeah.
Because
When they have a list, right?
They have a list, and then on the menu they actually written there. For me, as a person who have allergic to food, so I have food allergy, so that would be much more helpful for me.
True.
Yep.
True.
And they are very particular and details in terms of this menu. What are the food allergen? Yeah.
Yep.
It helps us with food allergy to make a better choices.
Yep, correct.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe let's just get to know Daphnee a little bit more. Maybe you can just introduce yourself, Daphnee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hi, I'm Daphnee. I graduated the bachelor's degree in dietetics and nutrition in Canada, and I'm specifically from Quebec. So Canada is a huge country, divided into many provinces. So I'm from Quebec. We're the only provinces that speak mostly French. So English is my second language,
right?
hence the accent.
Right. Yep.
So when I talk about all the topics in Canada, it's more in Quebec because I don't know the whole Canada. It's huge. So I can't really say what's going on in like British Columbia and Vancouver.
It will be different,
So,
right?
Even with the studies and how the work functions.
Yeah,
I know more about Quebec than the rest of Canada.
Understand?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point to
Yeah.
remind earlier about it. Okay, so maybe we'll
Wait, before that, since you mentioned that mainly you speak French, right? Can you just introduce yourself in French? Maybe just one sentence.
Interesting.
Because I want to, so that our audience will feel interested as well.
We can put it in like that tidbit, right?
Yes. I mean, you can just introduce yourself. Yeah, your name. You're from where in French.
Yeah. Donc, bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Daphnee, je viens du Québec au Canada et j'ai gradué l'année passée du baccalauréat en nutrition au Québec à l'Université Laval.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Oui.
Wait, yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So there are three main things that we're going to talk about today, and I think it will be a bit different. So I wouldn't say it's a very heavy topic. I think it will be a very interesting topic, mostly.
Yep.
And I think I will just let the audience know what are the three main content that we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
The first one is about the diet focus and the food culture. And then the social attitudes around the dieting and also body image. So
Yep.
we wanted to know, like, what is the perception about, like, being slim, being fit, back in Quebec, back in Canada,
Yep.
or in Western, for example, and then what also the community perception towards dietitian. Yeah, because we wanted to know how people actually view dietitian in their country, for example. So maybe we start for the first one in terms of diet focus and food culture. We start something which is very light first, because in Malaysia it's always about food. Like, you remember we went to Mama like around 11 p.m. and the place is full. Yeah. So we wanted to know, like, what does typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner look like in your country or in your area?
So it's typical. The three meals a day is quite typical. Lots of people skip breakfast often, but it's recommended to take the 3 meals a day. We say a really like westernized breakfast for someone who is not that interested into nutrition, it's gonna be really classic cereals and milk, toast with peanut butter and jelly, sometimes fruit. Otherwise, if you go a little bit more on the healthier and complete side, maybe eggs, the typical American breakfast, I would say, when you go brunch. So yeah, eggs, bread, sometimes meat if you take some fruits. So that could be it. But on the usual side is more toast, cereal, oats.
What about cheese in the morning? You take cheese as well in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can, but it's not like you won't take a fancy cheese in the morning. It's gonna be more like really processed cheese, like cheddar, mozzarella. Really classic.
Understand.
So that's for breakfast. Lunch, usually you take it like at work, at school, like usually not at home, depending on the days. So it's really typical to have like a lunchbox to bring your food everywhere.
Right.
And sometimes there's some complications because if you're like in school, there's not enough microwaves for everyone. So it's like more easy to have a cold lunch. So sandwiches, really the typical lunch. A lot of times also people have like leftovers from like pasta from the night before or something like that. So I would say that's the more... Lunch is a lot on the practical side.
Understand.
What you can put in a Tupperware, you can heat up in the in the microwave at home, at work or at school. And for dinner, I think one of the things that is kind of different between Europe and America is we take dinner quite early. So a lot of people come back from work and school, take dinner immediately. So like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. That's really early.
All right.
So when Europeans see that, they're like, why is it so early? And dinner can be really different depending on the families, but I think that's going to be the most complete meal of the day. It's usually the one you take more time to prepare. So it's going to be like, usually, you have you have heat, you have like rice or pasta or anything, and it's the time where you'll do more like composed meal. So you'll do like a lasagna or like a big, like a quiche or something. It takes more time to prepare.
So do you usually eat out or like cook?
Personally, not a lot, but I love to cook. And people are eating a lot at home also mostly now because of inflation, the prices are crazy for food everywhere. So going to the restaurant can be quite expensive. And sometimes the quality is not there anymore because of the prices as well. But people still go out, and some people will eat out, like either fast food or restaurants where you sit down and everything many times a week, others once a month. So there's really a range depending on your values, your lifestyle.
Financial capacity as
also,
well, right? Of course. And before you go inside, Shen Yi, like in Malaysia, the staple food is rice. Like we eat rice a lot, right?
I noticed.
Right. Morning, lunch, dinner, whenever, even supper, we can eat rice. What is the staple food in Canada? Or in Quebec, whatever.
We have like the staple food. I don't know if we have like one main ingredient that everyone have, but like really common food would be like bread, milk a lot. Like it's known that in the grocery stores, milk will be at the farthest point from the entry possible because they know that most people go buy it, so they have to go through the whole grocery stores and see everything and buy more to get to the milk. So I think milk is is really important in the culture. Other than that, we have some, pasta, rice as well, but we don't have, I think, one ingredient that we really are eating like every day and 3 meals a day. I think we're more into like variety. Like we'll try, if I eat rice one day, I'll be like, okay, I don't eat rice the next day. So we'll try to like change more.
Understand.
And also because we don't produce it. Rice comes from far.
Probably from Malaysia or Thailand, right?
Or China, whatever. So it's not like, yes, it's cheap, but it's not as cheap as here. It's like everyone has a lot of rice.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense. I'm asking this because, like, as what I know, like some countries, for example, they eat potato a lot, like bread a lot, right? So somehow in your situation, it's more of like a variety of like different type of carbs, right? Not like sticking just bread every day or like potatoes every day.
Yeah, mostly it depends. You make me think about talking about potatoes. When I did my internships in hospitals, like in the menu, the thing that was always there was potatoes. So people still eat a lot of like smashed potatoes. But generally, it's not. We won't have that 3 times a day.
Right.
We have rice every single time.
But you mentioned about milk just now. So milk will be one of the, I wouldn't say staple food, but that would be the food that always available in most of the household. Is it?
Yes. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't really see that.
I see. All right.
But yeah, generally meat has a big part of our like eating habits, and also different types of meat. So pork, beef, chicken, and more fancy meat sometimes as well.
Right.
So yeah, it takes a lot of place.
Yep.
But I know a lot of also vegetarian people. So I think on the protein, the not animal-based, the plant-based protein.
The plant-based protein, yes.
I think we're quite advanced for that. We have a lot of options for tofu, tempeh, beans.
You have tempeh?
Not as good as here.
Okay.
It's really,
Definitely.
It's one of my favorite things in Asia is the taste of tempeh. It's so fresh because it's only frozen. So it's quite heavy when you eat it. It's still good, but it's not. Here it's delicious. It's good tempeh.
Understand.
So so we have a lot of options. But meat still takes a lot of place.
All right, interesting. So I'm wondering in terms of because just now you mentioned about inflation as well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you usually like to home cook.
Yep.
Right. So how is the cost as compared with we eating healthily or prepare the food at home? Okay. I shouldn't put these two things together because home cook doesn't mean healthy. Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. So if let's say we compare home cook and eating out, on top of the consideration of those inflation, how do you think is the difference of the cost? Will it more costly eating out or home cook?
I think if you know how to home cook in a cost efficient way, true. Because you can always buy the most expensive ingredients. But if you're really on the perspective that I want to eat quite healthy, like not going to McDonald's or any fast food every day, but still on the cheaper side, eating at home will for sure be less expensive. And even like in Canada, we have the Canada's Food Guide. So it's like a guide that helps the population, like the simple outlines of like what you should eat to eat healthy. Do you have a thing?
Yeah, we have it here.
Yeah, we have our food pyramid. And with our own guideline as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a new one in 2019, and some of my teachers at Laval University did a research for the food guide saying, is it cost efficient to eat accordingly to the food guide? And they show that if you want to eat accordingly to the food guide, so more healthy, it's gonna be more expensive.
Wow.
Because it like only for example, one of our main outlines is that half of your plate is fruit and veggies. So that's already expensive. And yes, you can go with like frozen veggies that are cheaper and everything, but if you want fresh products, it can be really expensive. So that's a point as well. So it's eating healthy can get expensive.
Interesting.
it
Yeah.
can get
Interesting.
expensive if you are very particular at the more the freshness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Organic,
Yeah.
inorganic, whatever that
Yeah.
people nowadays are.
But
Yeah.
in fact, if you compare within fresh produce with frozen, actually the nutrition content doesn't differ that much. If let's
Yeah.
say the way they process it is they freshly get the vegetables and then directly go for frozen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is one of the misconception that
That's true.
community is having.
Yeah.
I think everywhere people think that frozen is like not that good, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I have that perception, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, now you make me realize that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I love it, and also as a student, like I ate so much frozen vegetables, and I think it's just a easy way as well to get more veggies into easy meal. Like if I do pasta, all right, I'll just put frozen veggies in there. I have my veggie portion. I'm good.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
cost a
get
lot.
Fiber. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like time efficient because you don't have to like cut all the carrot, cut all the celery, cut everything. It's just
Yeah.
already cut.
It's kind of relate to our previous episode. We were talking about meal plan, right? And I think this is
Yep.
one of the good options as well for
Yeah.
people to
Exactly.
meet their fiber intake.
Yep.
Yeah, mostly if people don't want to cook too much or don't like it, I think it's a really good way
Convenient.
to have your veggies and cost efficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So we know that Canada has like 4 seasons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the winter, summer, autumn,
And spring.
And spring.
Spring.
So we only have hot
Summer and hotter summer. I don't know.
and raining.
Yeah, and raining.
Yeah, monsoon
Yeah.
season, right?
Yeah.
So it rains a lot. So it's just out of our curiosity here. It's like how do season or weather impact food choices or cravings in your country? Does like in winter you eat differently from summer?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, we have really 4 different seasons. So in summer, we're gonna have temperatures like here, like 30 degrees, really humid, really hot.
Like humid, like sweating.
Yeah,
humid?
yeah. Really humid.
I thought it's dry.
No, it's really humid.
So
We
you
have-
sweat too.
Yeah, I know what it is. We have a lot of water still around us. We have lots of lakes and stuff.
I see.
Yeah, it's still humid.
Okay.
And in the winter, we're gonna have completely the opposite. So minus 30, minus like a normal day, minus 10 is like regular winter day.
Yeah.
Sometimes with sun, sometimes with snow, sometimes with like frozen snow. So it's really, really different.
Right.
And then autumn is just getting colder progressively.
Yeah.
And also we change time. So that's different depending on the provinces,
Yeah.
but we change the time. So it's dark at like 4
Yep.
p.m.
Yep.
So that's another point in
Yeah.
autumn. That is quite a big change.
Yep.
And then in spring, that's getting hotter, but it's usually the period where you never know what's the weather gonna be like. So one day it's gonna be 25 degrees, really hot, really sunny. Everyone is like doing bike everywhere. And then the next day, minus 2 and it's snowing. So
During summer? You mean?
in spring.
Oh, in spring.
So it's
Oh,
like
yep,
the
yep, yep.
It
temperatures.
changes is
Yeah.
just so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really spring is like the weird period where you don't know what to feel. You know. So for a food choice in winter because
Yeah.
it's so cold, we're a lot more into like comfort food a little bit. Not necessarily like not like bad food, but like comfort food. We always think like rich and fat and all. Not necessarily, but hot food, lasagna, for example.
Yep.
We have something that we call a Chinese pate, and it's not Chinese at all. I think the story. The story is what I've heard. I don't have sources. Maybe it's not that true, but it's because we had a lot of Chinese workers at a point, and it was what they were eating. So it's really a typical Quebec meal, and it's ground beef with a layer of corn and then smashed potatoes. Okay. So that's a typical winter meal. So really hot meals.
It's already very comforting too.
Yeah, by your mentioning.
just that.
Yeah.
So the taste is really good, and then like soup and all. And you can see. I don't know if you have winter movies here. Like
guess so.
maybe I don't know.
You mean Home Alone?
You kind of. You can imagine the
Yeah.
scene with like the hot chocolate by the window with
I
the
can
snow outside.
imagine.
Oh,
It
okay.
can be like that.
Very
You know?
classic. Yeah.
So yeah, we like comforting hot food. Then in spring it changes. Like you're going with like more fresh food a little bit, but then snowing, so it's kind of weird. But one of our main tradition in spring is to go to the sugar shack. So in my head, everyone knows what it is, but it's really
What is that?
I think just
Right,
in
yeah.
Canada.
Oh, yeah.
It's because we have a lot of maple trees.
Okay. Yep.
And so in spring it's like where they produce all the maple because
Right.
the trees are like
Harvest.
unfrozen.
Yep.
So you go to like the sugar shack, where it's a place where you eat a lot of sugar, and there's some typical food. So it's like scrambled eggs, sausages. We have sugar pie, and the classic one is like the dessert is you put maple syrup directly on top of snow, and then you roll it on like a little stick, and then you just lick it.
Wait, what? Maple syrup on snow?
On
On
snow.
the fresh snow.
Yeah. So there's like baskets, and they put snow in it. So when they put the maple syrup, it froze. So then you roll it, and you eat it like a
candy.
Yeah, lollipop, and it's really really good, but really really sweet.
Interesting.
And usually it's a whole experience. So
Right.
it's a lot kid friendly. So there's like farms, you can do like tractors tour, visit the whole shack. But it's still a really social activity that you go like
Understand.
once a year. It's really typical
Very interesting.
in spring, like end of winter,
Yep.
beginning of spring. Then in summer we want fresh food. We want like more cold food, like so a lot of salad, a lot of barbecues, because we want to be outside.
Yeah. After like being stayed
we've been inside
yeah.
too long, so we want
Right.
like as soon as the terrace opens at the restaurant, everyone is there. It's like first terrace of the year, let's
Yeah.
go, because you
Right.
can't in the winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of fresh food, lots of cold food
Yeah.
as well. And then in autumn is more like the return to like more comfort food. But we also have our apple season. So during like September, October, we have a lot of apples. So everyone goes like apple picking, and so you do lots of recipes with apples.
Yeah.
So that's
Apple
like
pie.
Yeah, apple pie, apple crumble, apple everything. So I think that's our main like difference in
Interesting.
between each season. Yeah.
Okay, before we move into the second point, right? Like I'm wondering in terms of like these season changes and the
Yeah.
food changes, right? Any significant changes to your body, you know, like your digestion or like, you know, your mental or whatever it is, you know?
Sometimes it can get hard. For example, in the winter, you don't see a lot of daylight because it's dark like
Yeah,
so
true.
fast. So sometimes you're more tired. It's more difficult to like get through your day. Maybe a little dramatic, but like it's easy to feel tired because you leave work at 4. It's already dark.
Yeah,
and then
true.
you're like, but it's only 4.
Can't imagine that. Yeah, I mean, I never experienced that. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and it's cold, and it's so it can be quite hard on the like the moral sometimes, but on the body, like directly, not really. But it's more like the social influences that could affect the body. But I think we'll get into that a little
Okay.
bit later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have something to add on
Yep,
in terms
sure.
of the diet focus and food culture that we mentioned just now, because I did some reading in terms of whether us Malaysian, how frequent do we eat out? Yeah,
okay.
and how much? I mean, how many percent? How is the prevalence?
Yep.
Right. It's actually more than half of Malaysian. They were eating out at least one meal a day.
Oh,
A day.
okay.
Yeah. That is. Yeah, I guess that is why our food industry, we call it food heaven. So everyone is
Yeah.
the food, the eateries everywhere, even
Yeah.
until
Literally,
nighttime. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
These things. This is a very interesting data for me
Yeah,
because
true.
I never know. Like there's no one actually tabulated the data, but in
Yeah.
fact more than half of us are
Actually eating out,
Yep,
right?
we
Yeah.
eating at least one meal a day.
I mean, like
Yep.
practically, if we talk about both of us, right? At least morning breakfast. I mean, breakfast at home, but lunch at least outside, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Based on most of our what we call that the routine and etc.
True,
Yeah.
True. Interesting.
Do you have, because in Quebec we have lots of like chefs that do like cooking books. Like cooking books are really popular to help people cook at home as well, because you have so many ideas, and it can be an online book or online site where
Yeah.
they share recipes. So I think that gets more like easier for people to cook at home because they have ideas. Do you have the same type of tool?
We used to have a lot of like chef or like influencers at that time, like they do a lot of like recipe
Yeah.
books and stuff like that.
Yep.
But nowadays we see the trend of like a lot of like people are making quick recipes on like
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah.
Instagram. Yeah. So that's the current trend that people follow right now.
Okay.
Yeah, which is mostly on Instagram and TikTok to get some ideas on what kind of meal that they want to prepare, like cook
Yeah.
at home. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Shen Yi, maybe we go into the second point.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about
Yeah.
dieting and body shape, right? Maybe I share my personal understanding and also encounter first, because the question is, what is the perception of being slim and being fit in your area, in your country, and is there any pressure, social pressure to look a certain
Yeah.
way. Yeah. In my community itself, the people around me, in fact, I do not feel that much in terms of you have to be fit, you have to be like, slim and etc. But based on the experience as in the client that we talk to, a lot of them are actually having this underlying pressure issue.
yeah.
Even though they look perfectly fit and fine, but they still get the pressure from the people around them. They are not good enough and etc. Yeah, that is what my encounter basically. Yeah. How about in your area?
I
Quebec,
think-
right?
Quebec, yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the pressure is really there as well, like constantly, even if you don't notice it necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like on social media, it can be publicities, on the TV, in the street, everywhere.
Yep.
So being slim or fit, like there's some standards, like societal standards
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
like considered more like pretty or more nice.
Yeah.
As well for like girls than boys,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for girls it will be, I think nowadays, because it changes with the time, but I think nowadays is you need to be slim but in certain part. So you need like a little waist but thicker thighs, and then so some part of your body or that way, and that would be better.
Yep.
For men, I think it's a lot with height as well.
Oh.
Like usually,
The taller.
the taller the man, the better,
The better.
quote
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah.
The idea, not my idea. But yeah. So I think that's a kind of pressure that people can feel all the time.
Yep.
And if I go back with the season as well, like
Yeah.
in the winter you feel it a little bit less because you're always in a coat in long like clothes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't see your body that much.
Summer, I guess.
But when summer is coming, it's
Yeah.
it's time for summer body.
Everything
So-
is exposed.
yeah. So during spring, or like even winter and spring, people are like preparing their summer bodies. So it's like I need to be ready for bikini season
Yeah.
for So that's like a big pressure that people put on
Wow,
themselves.
That's a good
Right,
point of
right.
view,
And it's always like I worked in a private nutrition clinic as a receptionist. So most of the call I was getting after New Year, so the New Year resolution was I want to lose weight, I want to start
a
going
summer
to the
body.
gym, I want all that. So I want to be more accepted. And I feel also there's like a pressure that you should want to change your body. Like if you say no, I'm good, I don't want to change anything, people will be like, are you sure? Don't you want to like lose a little bit of weight, or like
I know. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's also not good.
Yeah.
Because-
this is related with body positivity. Right?
Yeah, that's not, we're not there
Right.
still.
With
Right.
that being said, right, are fitness goals driven more by appearance or health?
I think more like appearance for a lot of people.
Yep.
And also you can see it in the gym. A lot of people go to the gym, take more pictures that they exercised, and then they leave.
Oops.
Yeah, you can see that. But
Right,
other
right.
people are there, won't take any pictures, just focus on their training. So I think there's really both like way of thinking.
Yep. Yep.
But I think a lot of people, even if they think I'm doing it to be healthier, in their mind they will still think I
Appearance.
want to lose weight, look better, instead of just thinking I want to feel better.
Understand.
I think that's kind of process that needs to be made.
Okay. Before you go into
Right.
the last point, Shen, like when it comes to this kind of like body stuff, right, appearance and stuff. So of course, it not just about gym, but also about dieting, right?
Yeah.
So what are the common like fat diets that people usually practice?
So many. So many.
Too much, eh?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot. I think the most common would be keto. Like
Okay.
keto diet. It's not, I don't have like statistic, but it's the one that we hear a lot of times.
Right.
Anything low carb, anything with restrictions that are not like science-based, or with people that did their own research
Yeah.
on like Google and
Yep.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Not recommended by
Yep.
professional.
Right.
So any restriction. So some people take out gluten. Some people will take out like
Yep.
cooked vegetables or raw vegetables, or they will eat paleo, so only meat, or they will don't eat meat, or no protein, or it's you hear everything.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay, with that being said, right, a bit
Okay.
controversial.
I'm ready.
Since you are a vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
So does that because of health or like because of like it's part of the fat diet that people actually do?
No, at first it was really for the environment and sustainability. Like I started learning more about it, and I've been a vegetarian for almost 5 years now, so I wasn't even in like dietetics
Nutrition
or
before,
anything. So it was at first for the environment, then for some health reasons, just with red meat and everything. It's not. I don't want to say that it's not healthy to eat meat, but some meat can be more healthier than other.
Yeah.
And then like it was for animal ethics as well.
Understand. Okay.
And then the less I ate meat, the more I'm like kind of disgusted by eating it. So even now, like I'm not craving it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm clearer now. Like I thought it could be like because of like they want to be vegetarian, they want to reduce all the fat, whatever from the meat. And
for sure, some people are thinking that way.
Understand. Okay.
Right.
But in your perception, it's more of like the ethical kind of side of it as well, right? Understand.
Towards the environment. Okay, got it. Yeah, what I want to ask just now, because you mentioned about all types of fats diet that the community is practicing. So, because this paleo diet, for example, I don't see it as famous as in Malaysia, but those kind of certain diet that restrict, for example, gluten is getting more and more popular. I can see a lot of people start to talk about it, even though it might not be evidence-based, right?
Yeah.
So, as a dietitian, right, when you are facing the community, because you mentioned you are interested with public health, so you are facing a community with all sort of like fat diet, and I believe there will be a lot more to come. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your perception or your take on this fat diet? Yeah.
I think any diet with restrictions
Yep.
is you won't be able to maintain it in the long term. And a lot of diets you don't know we don't have research on what it is doing in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
And some diets can be good for some people. Like, for example, keto diet was invented for epileptic. So
Exactly.
you need to balance, like, okay, because keto diet is really restrictive. No carbs, like no rice.
Yep.
It's a big
And
sacrifice.
they even go until the extent where some of the vegetables with carbohydrate, they avoid it.
So then you need, if it's only to lose weight, it's not a good way of thinking. You won't be able to maintain it in the long term. But if you say, if I'm doing the keto diet, I won't have seizures every day, that may be a better reason to do it.
True.
So for some people, it might be a good idea, but you always need professional advice to be sure that it's a good way for you.
Okay. So maybe that relates into our third point, like about how people's perception towards like dietitians' role in your country, right? So, like there are a lot of like misinformation, misunderstanding, and stuff like that. So when people usually seek for a dietitian, right?
Yeah.
Is it only when they are sick, or also when they are for general wellness, or like how does the whole perception of Canadian towards like a dietitian profession?
I think when you go see a dietitian, for common people that doesn't necessarily know what a dietitian does. So in Canada, we have public healthcare, so that is free. If you go to the hospital and everything, it's free. And we also have private. So if you go to public healthcare, for example, the hospital, have a surgery or whatever, you have problem with food, so you don't eat enough, something like that. The dietitian will most of the time be implied in the file of the patient. So the patient will see the dietitian without necessarily asking for it. It's like the doctor, the medical team.
They refer.
That are gonna say, hey, we're gonna add a dietitian because we noticed you don't eat enough, for example.
Right.
Or we have some protocols to say when we enter a file. And so then we go see a lot of patients like this in public healthcare.
Understand.
Other than that, if it's outside the hospital, it's always with a doctor reference or almost. So, for example, during pregnancies, if
GDM,
what
gestational diabetes.
Yeah,
is it very
this.
common?
It's quite common. So this, or if you have weight problems during pregnancy or other problems, sometimes with restrictions. Just if you have a lot of restrictions as a dietitian, big nauseas or conditions like this, you can be referred to a dietitian. But on the private way, sometimes it's because in the public healthcare, when it's not in a hospital, if it's like a less acute problem, for example, high cholesterol, you won't necessarily be referred to a dietitian, or even if you're referred, it can take months before you see one.
Interesting.
It's the same. It's a very similar condition over here.
So a lot of people turn to the private system to have an appointment faster. So a lot of them are referred by their doctors to either lose weight, not necessarily for good reasons, or for example, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, other changes in life. So that's how people, I think, will go see a dietitian. Some of them also will go on their own. You know, they will be, I want to see a dietitian, but a lot of them just want a meal plan. They'll be like, oh, can you give me a meal plan? I want to lose 10 pounds or 5 kilograms in a month. So we need to like put the ideas together and do a lot of education about what we do. And also, I think a lot of people expect to go see a dietitian and then leave the office with so many restrictions. Be like, you can't eat bread, you can't eat eggs. That's not true. Like, usually we will tell you to eat more of a lot of ingredients.
It's interesting that it's pretty similar.
Exactly.
In a lot of ways, you know?
Because in Malaysia, we are facing I would say very similar situation as you mentioned just now in terms of patient load in public health in our government hospital, and as well as the perception as in I go to see a dietitian, I want to lose weight, I want a meal plan, and I will need to take a lot of vegetables. I mean the perception, and a lot of things I have to be restrict. So that is so similar in between. I guess, be it in Canada or be it in Malaysia.
True.
That is what people see. What a dietitian does.
True.
I think also because in Quebec, in French, we will say like nutritionist, dietitian, but in French, you know. So we're changing more and more towards nutritionist. I think also because dietitian does a lot of diet restriction and everything. So there's like the double standards of it. So we talk more and more about nutritionist. And sometimes it's confusing because people say, I want to see a dietitian, not a nutritionist. But for us in Quebec, it's synonym. So you have to explain that it's the same thing.
I see, we have a very distinctive, different here in Malaysia for a role of dietitian and nutritionist. Because dietitians is mainly on the curing side of the, like when they already have a disease, right? But nutritionist, they specifically the prevention side of it. But as what you explained just now, in Quebec specifically,
same thing. So we do both. So when you when you finish the bachelor degree, you can do anything. You can go in promotion or in more curative care.
But is it under the same board? Oh, we have different, like nutrition board and dietitian board. It's different.
No, us is really one big family.
Okay, interesting. Shen Yi, before you do the wrap up, right? This is just like one last question. We are running out of time. Like about this community perception towards dietitian, right? What's one thing that you, as a dietitian from Canada, that you wish your public in your country right now to better understood your role as a dietitian? Like what is one thing that you wish public will better understood?
I think one main thing that should be more shared with everyone is the title. Because when we say I'm a dietitian, I'm a nutritionist, it means that we have a bachelor degree, we are a member of the order, and we have to do like continuous formation to stay like updated in the news because it's a new science. It changes so fast. So when you have the little initials after your name, in French it's DTP, it means I'm a member of the order, I will provide good service, and if I don't, you can go to the order and then have a protection as a member of the public. But a lot of people don't see the difference between dietitian, nutritionist, and nutrition coach, nutrition specialist, specialist, and then the titles goes and goes and goes. So I think that's one main thing, and because public don't know about it, and it's normal. It's not an information that it's shared. So when you don't know, you just go for the most popular on Instagram.
But were they anything being done by your local authority or the government in terms of like managing these online coaches or like, you know, so-called nutrition?
They can't use a title dietitian and nutritionist because those are reserved titles. But they can use any other titles. So Nutri-Coach, diet,
Nutrition
fitness,
consultant.
life specialist, whatever.
Yeah,
so it's for a member of the public, it can be really confusing.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think they should be more publicities and advertisement to say, if you go see a dietitian, this is what you get. If you see like a fitness coach or a nutri coach or whatever title that is invented, you never know what you're going to receive. And a lot of times it's not going to be science properly based, or it's going to be just or not according to your needs.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're so relatable because as a member of the board, we understand. I mean, I just want to advocate again in terms of the credibility of a dietitian and nutritionist, be it in Canada or even in Malaysia. We studied 4 years to actually understand how human body works and how the nutrition content, nutrients works in our body.
Yeah.
So that is the main basic fundamental that we are having. I'm not saying other coaches, they do not have this, but most of the short-term course consultant or coaches, they are learning it based on certain products or even for themselves only.
Yeah.
So it might not applicable for everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it can even be dangerous if you have any illness. For example, if you have type 1 diabetes
Exactly. Yeah.
and you need a certain diet, certain needs, a fitness coach might not be able to do that. And most of them, like not most of them, but lots of them won't necessarily see their own limits. Sometimes they think they're right
That's so true.
and they don't stop themselves and say, okay, I'm going to stop here. It's like too much for me. Go see a dietitian.
Like even for us, we know our boundaries. We wouldn't be talking a lot about medicine, for example, you know, like medication because it's pharmacist's job, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I see, for example, a pregnant woman that have a lot of nausea, I can say, oh, some meds can help, but I'm not. I can't prescribe some meds. I'll go see your doctor, your pharmacist.
Yeah, true. Even if people coming with bulimia or like whatever.
Eating disorder,
right? We can't simply like just go and giving them some intervention without having a consultation from like a psychologist or
psychiatrist.
Exactly. And also with some titles, like I want to say, for example, I'm a bachelor in dietitian and nutrition, but I'm still not a member of the board just because I need to do like the administrative thing. So I will do it really soon. And it's only an administrative procedure, but for someone in between dietitian and bachelor in nutrition dietetics, it can be confusing as well. So it's really the little initials after the name that are really important to like be safe with the service you receive, mostly if you have special needs.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, just a shout out as well. In terms of this certification or creating a board, because in Malaysia, for our audience that comes from Malaysia, because I believe this podcast will not only listen by Malaysians, right? But in Malaysia, we'll also be in Canada. So we have our own Allied Health Professional Act 2016, which we already started since 2016, and then the registration process almost complete. And right now, all the allied health professional, including physiotherapists, audiologists, optometrists, they are being protected under this act, and no one can simply, as what you mentioned just now, no one can simply take the data. I'm a dietitian if you're not registered.
We have our registration number.
Yeah, exactly. Same for us.
Yes.
And you can actually go in justice if you say I'm a dietitian and you're not really.
True, so true.
Yeah, you're holding that profession. Right.
Maybe Shen Yi, we can wrap up.
Sure. So before we wrap up, I think I want to ask a very interesting question that we prepared. That basically is like
you can only ask one
question.
Okay?
Yeah, let's just ask one. Yeah. So because it's your first time to Malaysia, right, Daphnee?
Yes.
Yep.
Not the last, I think.
Not right. Not the last. I like that. Yeah. So I believe you have tried a variety of Malaysian food, or the food in Malaysia. If you could bring one Malaysian food back to Canada, what would it be?
A specific food I don't necessarily know, but I want to bring back the spices because the taste here is amazing. It's new because it's the typical, like, the stereotype that in Canada we only have salt and pepper. It's quite true. Like, compared to
You
here,
attest to that now. Yeah.
even if I take curry in Canada, it's not gonna taste as good as here. And the freshness, and so the spices, like, honestly, 100%. That's what I want to bring back.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So once again, thank you very much, Daphnee, for your sharing and bringing us the view from as a Canadian to talk about the diet focus or diet culture in Canada, and also the social attitude around dieting and body image, which I think in Malaysia or even in all over the world, most of the people are facing the same issue, right? And the community perception towards dietitian, I'm surprised personally because I have the perception as in a light health professional in Western country will be much more what we call it, well recognized. Yeah. The reason being, I'm saying this because most of our syllabus is actually from America. Yeah, we learn from that, but it's good to know as well with Malaysia is catching up. We are having all our professional act to actually protect our board, and also the community are still greatly influenced by those coaches and those uncertified influencers, which might not giving the evidence-based information. Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty much about our discussion today. Do you have anything you want to add on? Just the last part. Yeah.
I'm really happy to have come here today. I think it's a really nice exchange. And it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, right.
In the same way, the world is a small place.
Right.
It's the same a little bit everywhere. We're all humans. We're all going through the same steps a little bit. So it's really interesting to notice that, even on a dieting point of view.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much for your time, Daphnee, and we hope
my pleasure.
to see you again in Malaysia.
Yes.
And I hope you still bring back the spices. I'll give you some recommendation
Mate,
to get.
please.
Yeah.
All right. So for the audience, if you like our episode, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel and Spotify channel. And if you need a dietitian to give you guidance in terms of your diet, please feel free to drop us a DM. Right. With that, I think that's all for our podcast today. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.